Got Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Commey in the Commey.
That's the most competitive. That's the most interesting as far as if you really want to, watch a fight where there's an argument on either side instead of an A side, B side.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, let's get right into that one then, because that one is the most, like you said, it's the most entertaining and I think probably the most anticipated. A lot of implications to see who wins this, because basically who's gonna get a chance against Loma next, and these two guys will be doing their best to make their case. What are you looking for here?
Well, I think what's interesting about the Commey-Lopez fight is that Arum and Top Rank, they want Lopez to win badly. This is really important. I mean, obviously, you're the promoter and you have a big deal with ESPN. You want all you guys to win. But in this case, even more so, because it's a business and it's about the app. It's about part of it's part of what Arum brought to the table to make his deal with ESPN was that they would be able to build the app with boxing. And Arum and Top Rank with Lopez, look at this kid. He's 22 years old. He's a good talent. He's a puncher. He's charismatic. As I said, he's a young kid. He's electric. He gets in the ring. He knocks guys out. He's something you can sell. But he's one other thing. He's Latino. And I'm not exactly sure where he was born. Rob will find that out for me. But, obviously he's Latino. He's got a Latino following. And everyone wants to find the next Canelo. Mm-hmm. See, I went a different path than you think that I'm going to go. You think I'm just going left hooks and right hands. No. It's about knowing what this business is about. And hopefully for the fans, us being able to enlighten them. And help them a little bit in some of those areas. And a lot of the fans, we have smart fans, they already know what I'm saying. But because everyone wants the next Canelo, because he brings that great Latino following, that great Latino audience, and that means pay-per-view numbers, baby. And that means the app and maybe new subscribers. So they being Top Rank, look at Lopez as a possible next Canelo. Canelo's the king. But maybe as an heir to the throne of being able to bring that audience because of what I just said. He's charismatic. He's electric. He's got power. He knows what to say. He knocks a guy out. He does a backflip. They need one thing now. They need a title. But sometimes you get a title, you get lucky. You're not supposed to. Anytime you fight for a title, it should be tough. But sometimes you get lucky, you get in the right spot. In this case, they're fighting a guy who deserves to be a champion. Commey is a legitimate guy. And so it's a legitimate fight, a legitimate test. But if Lopez wins, again, they can build him up to bring this massive Latino audience over to them, hoping that it'll help them with the apps and make the executives at ESPN at least hear what they want to hear, see what they want to see, hopefully. But they also could make a marquee fight. They could look to make maybe a fight with him and Lomachenko, who they have right in their home. Mm-hmm. They do have that in their backyard. They do control that. So there's a lot on the line for them with this Lopez. So I think I set the stage properly first for the fans that's what's on the line for the promoter there. And Commey is a good, solid fighter, but he's lost 2 times. Lopez is a guy that a lot of people were disappointed in his last fight. For the Japanese fight, he went the distance. Yeah, he went the distance. And but I think that fight's going to help him in this fight.
I agree.
It's going to help him. It's going to prepare him. It's going to get rid of some of the questions. Some of the doubts in his head, some of the bats in the belfry, so to speak. Get rid of those bats. You don't want bats in your belfry. Get them out of the attic. What are those bats, Teddy, you're talking about in the belt? Well, can I go the rounds? Can I be with this level guy? Can I handle this? And the answer was, yeah, I can go the rounds. Yeah, I could be better. Who held me back? I held myself back. You learn in those kind of fights, and you learn at the right time just before you have to learn, just before you fight the biggest fight in your life. So I think that fight is going to help him going into this fight. And Commey's a real challenge. A lot of guys have now feeling that they like Commey in the fight.
Well, Comey's only 2 losses, split decision losses to Dennis Shafikov and
Easter.
Robert Easter.
Yeah.
Split decisions.
Split
both.
decision losses, but again, he lost.
Yeah.
And those guys that you just mentioned, they're solid, but they're solid guys, but they're not Sugar Ray Leonard or Tommy Hearns or Pernell Whitaker or any of those. I mean, they're not somebody that you say, oh my, okay, but so he did lose. He's I always say one of the great things that an undefeated fighter has going for him is that he hasn't learned how to lose yet. Lopez hasn't learned how to lose yet, but. The thing about those 2 losses, he lost split decisions. Number 1, he lost. Number 2, he got hurt. In the Easter fight, I believe it was the Easter fight, he got hurt.
Yeah.
He was hurt pretty badly.
That's right.
Guess what? Lopez can hurt you.
That's right.
And Lopez, one thing about Lopez, he's got power. He's explosive. There's a difference, power. Ernie Shavers had power. George Foreman had power. But I didn't really know if I'm going to describe them. Max Baer had power going way back. But I don't match the term explosive. There was more ponderous, like a wrecking ball coming. and it hits you and it just wrecks everything. But it's ponderous. It's heavy. It's a cement block. But it's not a hand grenade going off. Wilder hits you, it's a hand grenade.
Yeah.
Boom! Explosive. And I see some of those characteristics in the abilities. Boy, I'm really building them up for. I hope Top Rank is going to send us a Christmas card. But, I don't think so. But he's got that component that I don't give to everybody of explosiveness. But it's not only kind of like I'm going to be careful with this because he hasn't earned the right to be in this company yet, but a little bit like Pacquiao, where Pacquiao, and hear me through, not just the power, but the ability to get the power to where it has to get to real quick. In other words, he closes the gaps real fast. One of the things that Pacquiao did so great, he could punch, he was fast, but he had quick feet, and he could close the gap. Boom! He closed the gap on you. And he, before you know it, he was in there. You got a little careless, you got a little lax. You thought you had time, you thought you had space, and then all of a sudden Pacquiao closes that space real quick, and he clocks you, and he hits you real suddenly, explosively. I see that ability in Lopez, where he can close the gaps on you really quick, like a Pacquiao. And you get a little careless for a second, and you think, I got time before he could get... And all of a sudden, your right hand's just lingering a little bit. All of a sudden, whoop! He's in there with a left hook. And where'd that come from? He was over there. But now he's here. So he's got that. And I think that's going to play for him against Commey. I think that's going to catch Commey by surprise because you're never ready for that till it happens. Right. You're never ready. It's not like, I'm going to go with one of those guys to spar with. Where?
That's a good point.
Where? So, and then you say you're ready for it. Oh, you watch the tape. Okay, you see that? No, when he does that, this is what we're going to be ready to do. Yeah, sounds good until you're in there. And it's kind of like you hear about football, you hear about baseball. All of a sudden, the speed hits you. The speed of the game is much faster than you thought it was.
Exactly.
And you say, holy Christ, And I think that Commey's going to experience that. And again, I don't know what the line is on the fight, but I know a lot of people are picking Commey. A lot of people, we'll get the line on it before we finish here. I'm sure Rob will get it for us. But a lot of people are picking Commey. He's more experienced, the whole thing. He's been through the test. He's been tested, all that stuff. But I believe this 22-year-old kid is going to be ready to be a star. And he's going to do it in an explosive way. If I'm right, when you have a kid like this, and you hope he's going to be what you hope he's going to be, like Top Rank hopes he's going to be, like everything I laid out, you want to do it in a dramatic fashion. You want to hit Broadway, and you want to hit that stage, and you want to bring the curtain down. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to bring the curtain down. I know a lot of people in this. I'm not taking the safe pick because a lot of people are picking Commey. And saying, it's going to go rounds. And it might. I don't have to be right all the time. Obviously, I've proven that. But I'm going to say that he's going to close the gap on him, and Commey is not going to expect what's going to come at him. It's going to come out of the blue. It's going to come out of the sky. It's going to come from above, and all of a sudden, bang! He's going to get paralyzed with a shot that he didn't expect from a position he didn't expect. If I'm right about this, and as I said, when you have a young guy that you think is going to be a star, you put him on the biggest stage, you put him in Madison Square Garden on ESPN, you want to bring the curtain down.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll bring the curtain down. I think there's a good chance he'll bring the curtain down. I'm going to pick Commey by sudden knockout out of the blue. Lopez, I'm sorry, to knock out Commey out of the blue in 3 rounds. Yeah,
3 rounds.
3 or 4 rounds. Yeah, I know it's a shock. A lot of people, come on, what are you doing there? You must be eating too many Twinkies. The sugar got to your head, kind of like Ruiz, But no, I'm gonna say anywhere it could be 2, 3, 4 rounds early, where I think that Lopez is gonna close one of these gaps and deliver a punch, a lightning bolt that Commey just, again, in all his training in camp, couldn't prepare for the quickness until he realized how quick this guy can close the gap and can put one on your kisser. So I'm picking Lopez to make Top Rank very happy, to do it the way you want to do it, by sudden knockout.